Sweet. Hey everybody, it's your boy. Woo! Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. Okay, sorry my voice is a little shot. That actually reminds me I need to be watching my voice these next few days because I got the competition coming up. If you're here, hold on, wait a minute. I always forget to do this part. I have to click go live on the gram. Bam, we're now live on the gram. Okay. Now, this says we should be good to go. I'm using something different this time. I'm trying to use something a little bit different. If you're here, holler at your boy. If you know somebody. Hayden! Hey, I see you in there, Hayden. Don't worry, I'm right down here. I'm just getting my windows up on my streams. So, if y'all are here, what's up, Ryan? Oh man, Ryan here from me for a while. If you know somebody, hey there. Perfect. We're gonna shut that. Bam, bam. Now, if you guys are here, it'll help. Just shoot me a little message in the chats. That way I can see. I'm using something new that might help me keep track of my chats this time around. Because that's always like part of my big problem is not being able to see all my chats in one place. And I don't want anyone to feel missed. So I got a bunch of ish I be doing over here, tricks I be pulling. Don't leave though. If you are here, don't leave. There's only a couple more things I got to do before we get on and popping. Plus, I be doing over here trick. Where's that coming from? I heard some voice coming from, but I'm not sure where it came from. We gonna mute all those so they don't distract Nate the King. All right, now here we go. Some of you guys might not know, but I'm in a competition right now for the funniest comedian in the Valley. Okay, that's on August 6th, and if you guys want free tickets, I'm gonna be posting the flyer either tonight or tomorrow, but either way, whatever I do, I'm gonna make sure that I post it soon. Okay, I'm gonna be posting that, but also go to the website for the Tempe Improv. The ticket code to get those tickets for free, it's Tony, Tony, all capital letters. You'll get the tickets for free. Alrighty, well, I mean that's nuts. That's nuts. You're getting them for free, but that's nuts. All you do is you pay like the fees for them. Now, we're gonna do that thing. Alrighty, I'm just getting my old phone. Of course. My brother asked if he could borrow my charger, and it happens to be the one that I use for this. So I'm just getting my old phone out so I can hop onto my Instagram, and it'll say I have one viewer, but also allows me to get a little nice. Okay. My old phone always gives me all these notifications anytime I open it up. Here we go. Yes. Join the live. Perfect. This will help me do a little bit of a better job seeing where I'm framed at. And if I really wanted to do too much, I have a little tripod I can stand this on. But I'm not going to keep y'all forever, alrighty? The goal here is to work these sets, right? And get ready for the big shebang. Now, a quick little rundown for those of y'all who haven't been here before, or haven't been to one of these sessions I've done. They're brand new for me, so I've barely been to them too. But the whole thing we're doing is I'm running my set because I'm trying to get it perfect. I know exactly how I want my set to go, but it's only 7 minutes, which is a challenge to get right. Because a lot of the jokes I want to do for this set are really, really good, but they're also really big. They're also really long ones. So it's very challenging to try and... Oh, come on, don't do this to me. Yo. You are him. AF. Okay. I just sent my own message in the chats to see if I got something that says it should be able to show me like all my chats in one place, but I'm not sure if it's legit or not. Not that it might be like a scam. I just don't know if it works. I got to get on my TikTok too. I forgot about that one. I should already be live on there. I know TikTok's going to give me a tood. Come on. Yes. Okay, says I'm live on TikTok. If you're here, don't leave. Unless you got to go. If you got to go, ain't no problem. Because, like, I mean, what's it really matter? My feelings the only thing that's going to get hurt. Okay, so we got TikTok. Then I'm going to put Twitch. I'm going to put Instagram on top of Twitch. And there we go. One of these days, I'm going to show y'all how I do this so y'all can see just how ugly my setup is. Maybe one of y'all can help me improvinate what I'm doing. Because, I mean, honestly, the only reason I'm doing this is because, of a buddy of mine who helped me figure it out. Don't mind me, I got to add some likes to my... Oh, I can press and hold. That's gangster. Oh, but it's slower than if I... Is it slower? Here we go. Anyway, you guys. Oh, if you hear, just say a little something, because I'm just catching up on some stuff. But if you guys are here, I'm not going to make y'all wait. They say it might take a while to load this live. Come on. I can't tell. See, and this is the thing. The way my computer's set up and stuff, it's hard for me to tell if my lives are all working. Because, like, my Instagram one freezes after a while. And it seems to be doing that on both. On both my computer and my phone. So I can't see or tell how good it's looking. So you're helping me out. Ugh. Darn it. What is it? I can't tell what's working. I can't tell if stuff's working or not. Shoot. Okay. Darn it. On my end, they're all so choppy. Dang it. On my end, all of them are super, super choppy. Hold on. I'm going to go see something. Ooh. Okay. I can't tell if this is working or not because all the things I use to check are frozen. They're either really behind or they're frozen. The only one that's like active, where I can see where I am and stuff, is on my OBS, and that's not gonna give me a gauge of, how my content actually looks. That's where it's recording. So it can't give me an accurate gauge on how my stuff's looking. Oh, this is really frustrating. Because I want to give you guys the best thing that I can, but I can't tell. I'm not able to tell if this stuff is working or not. Definitely not long enough to keep Accurate. Okay, so now we're recording. Okay. That makes me think. Okay, sorry. It was in my head about something. It's in my head about something. Okay. So I'm so mad. Come on, guys. Work. Work, work, work. I really want to just be able to do this. Okay. And kapow. We're locking in. Now, if you guys join my stream, just help me out by telling me how it looks. How's it look? How's it sound? Because it's really difficult for me to be able to tell. Ow. It's really hard for me to tell all at once. I literally got and again, I'll show it to y'all one day, especially if anybody's interested in streaming. My setup's very, very ugly, but I'm like, I gotta make sure I'm in the middle of my frame for YouTube and Twitch, which is way different, completely different than where my framing is for Instagram and TikTok, because those are vertical. So I have to try to set my stuff up to where the middle of both is the middle of both. And this is about it. This is about the best I can do. The chairs here in the way. Because yesterday I was tired and wanted to try to sit down. This is even better because I'm a little bit further back. Only problem is, can't tell if I've got anybody in more chats. So I'm testing out a new thing. Go ahead and shoot me a message. Let's see, hold on. TikTok. Darn it. Okay. TikTok doesn't let you do nothing if you don't have an account. No, don't do that because it'll probably lock me out of Instagram. What ones are on there? What ones are on Restream? Sorry. Hold on. Channels. An error occurred. Hold on. Well, I don't need Restream for my for my Instagram. So that's fine, but I think it's not. I think it's frozen. I think this is frozen because at least on. Well, okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. Sorry. And again, let me know if you guys are here, because if I got people up in here, then I'm not gonna get too caught up on this stuff that's freaking me out. Because again, if it's working, it's working. That's all that really matters. I just can't gauge it because everything freezes. Hey. And if I refresh that, it's probably going to take me out of the stream, and then I won't be able to know what's going on. Okay, close that. Don't do that now. For my Instagram. I think this is from. Okay, all right. No matter. It's no problem. It's no problem. I just can't. Okay. So, sweet. I saw somebody joined on TikTok, but it looks like it was on accident. And you know what it probably is? It's probably people that are opening the app. And then, because the app is so weird and so desperate to get you hooked on some stuff, that they'll oh, here you go, the minute you open it up. Excuse me. throw you right into a live. I'm going to look into getting a mic too, because I realized that it sounds so much different from when I'm like right up to the computer and when I'm back. Still sounds good. But we might be able to increasinate the, how good the stuff is if we add one of them's. I'm trying to think. Anyway, you guys, what's happening? So, sorry, it was a pretty bumpy start there, but I have to remember this stuff is just awkward because I'm new to it. I'm not going to keep you guys for too long because I know exactly what we want to tackle. To make a very long story short, I did a 7-minute set for the semifinals, which I advanced, which was really cool. I was very happy with, super proud of. There was only one problem. I planned for that set to have more jokes in it and ended up running out of time. That's good and bad. That's good. Why is it good? Because I left a few jokes that had to get cut. A few jokes had to get cut out. What's happening? I see you're in here, Jay Gray. I see you're in here, Jay. We're just working on my set for the semifinals for the Funniest Comedian in the Valley, which is on August 6th. If you are in Phoenix, if you're in Arizona at all, I'm going to be at the Tempe Improv August 6th, baby. Okay? And guess what? I can get you free tickets. Holler at me later if you want them, or mention in the chat if you want to know how to get the free tickets. I'm probably going to end up saying it anyway later, but that's just to try to farm some engagement. Anyway, holler at your boy if you know somebody. So, here's what it is, though. Why is that good? That set kind of ran out of time. One, I still advanced, which was great. It means that a lot of my material is really strong, even if I don't do all of it. But it's bad because there were jokes I wanted to do that I wasn't able to get to. But it's good because that now means the stuff I left out, I can now try my best to get it to fit in the finals. And if I can get everything to fit in that final set that I want, I am very proud of the set I'll be able to do. There's only one problem. I need, by my estimation, an extra minute and 30 seconds of time. If you guys want to see my set, the semifinal set, cool. I would love that. Shoot me a message on Instagram or TikTok, anywhere you can. Shoot me a message and I'll actually send you the unlisted link to my semifinal set so you guys can see it and then see where the mistakes were made. And again, not really mistakes. It was just, things were a little bit different. And I will tell you this one of the biggest ones was that when I did the semifinal set, it got good to me, and I threw this act out into the set. This act out where I acted like I was on roller skates, okay? I don't normally do that in the set, but it's something that I came up with from a conversation I had with somebody, and I love the act out, and so I just threw it in there, which was great because I had a guy that came to the show, another artist, he's a musician. He saw my semifinal set, he was there, and he said, he was like, "Hey man, I heard you were taking pointers." He actually said, "That was great. Do more of it." Like, he said you could sit on that one longer, which was cool because I think his name might have been Tony. But the thing, it's so funny because I know he hasn't, wasn't in like the sessions where I'm breaking it down. So I'm pretty sure he wasn't there when I said out what I wanted, But that's cool because guess what that means? That thing's good. And it means the audience really enjoyed it. Superb. That's what we want, for the audience to have a good time. Now, here's what we're going to work on, just for a little bit maybe. Again, because I can't really tell if people are here. If you're here, say a little something. Say what's up. Say hey. It just lets me know that my streams are actually working. And that I'm not just yapping out into the ether, because sometimes my computer will make me think it's all working, but then it doesn't, and it just don't tell me. Because even on all my stuff, I can't tell how smooth it is. When I check my footage, it looks like it's all smooth, but then I get messages saying that it's, real choppy. And it looks like it might be real choppy, from what I can tell. So whatever. Here's what we're gonna do. I realized that one of the spots I struggle the most with is the transitions between my chunks, right? Between my topics, those transitions are really challenging, alrighty? Because what's happening, Cord? What's happening, Cord? The transitions are difficult because these jokes, I'm doing them in a new order, or I'm cutting stuff out that my brain normally uses to transition from one thing to another. This analogy I use is like the old Donkey Kong Country games. I think the very first one has a whole bunch of levels. I'm pretty sure it's the very first one. I think they got it, well, I'm pretty sure they got something just like it in Donkey Kong Country 2, but they got these levels where you're on these mining tracks and you're in these mining carts, and then you gotta jump, crash, and then you get on another one. And what's happening is I'm so used to doing these jokes on the the normal way that I do them, that now that I'm adjusting and editing, my brain is getting caught up in the lag of having to jump from one to the other because I'm skipping parts I normally flow through, right? Which is why I just got to practice and retrain my brain to do these transitions faster, because that's where I'm losing a lot of time. My homegirl, a poet from back in Orlando, Dream, she told me it was taking me 47 seconds to get into my jokes about Juneteenth. That's way too much time, especially for that to all not be jokes itself. If we can cut that down, we can fit another joke. And right now, I think our goal is that I want to try to get another minute and 30 seconds out of what I'm doing. I got to figure out not only where do I trim all the fat, where do I get rid of all the stuff that doesn't need to be said, but I also might have to start cutting jokes too. I've already cut a bunch, and so now I've whittled it down to where we're pretty much only playing with A+ stuff, which makes it very challenging. That makes it very challenging to figure out what do we cut now. And because now it's like, oof, now I get to that point where realistically all the material's really good. So I don't think if I cut some of the smaller ones, it could end up potentially ruining the whole set for me, right? I don't think it'll end up being like, oh, I should have did that joke about my hair. But I do think, oh my God, I think I just found a great place. I think I just found a great place to cut a joke. It's a great joke, but it would save me time. It might save me enough time too. I'm gonna do a lot of my thinking out loud so you guys can be a part of the process. Just be here with me. But I am gonna continue to try and do these earlier and earlier. Today, I was gonna do it around 5 or 6 once I got home from work, but I stayed a little bit later so I could help clean some stuff up and then goof off with my coworkers. And then I also want to do work. When I did get home, I had to eat. And then I messed with my stream and realized on on Twitch and TikTok, it was still saying that I was playing Monster Hunter. And I had to figure out how do I change those so it'll actually say what I'm doing, because I'm sure there was people that were hopping in on Twitch who were like, this isn't Monster Hunter, what quest is that? Anyway, but I finally figured out how to fix that. Sorry, keeping myself calm. It's hot. It's hot in here. So I'm not gonna keep y'all for too long, but here's what we're gonna do this time. Normally we run the set, and we probably will, but now we're gonna specifically attack the transitions. That's the big thing. We're gonna attack the transitions. I'm gonna try to go a joke before I switch and play with those to find the quickest way to get through them. If you haven't seen the sets before, this might be a little confusing for you. And in that case, just ask and I'll shoot you. Our goal today is word economy. That means saying something with as few words as possible. And so we're going to attack these transitions with that in mind. I'm going to try to do them the way I always do them, or the way I'm used to doing them. And then we'll go in together and go, here's a quicker way you can say that. Here's a quicker way you can say that. You got it? Now, I will say this just because I'm thinking out loud. One joke that I think I am going to cut is my where the weed at joke. Because I just realized it tells the same joke that I now get my Juneteenth joke to tell. And I'm just going to yap about that real quick before we go in and attack transitions, because that I think is going to be the biggest cut that we'll make off the top of my head. That whole chunk of jokes, I'm talking about how, now granted, these jokes require that my afro is out. So they might be weird if I don't have my afro out, but just keep that in mind. I'm going to take my hair back out before the show. Now, this particular section of jokes, right? My first section is about being single or stuff about when I was single. My second section of jokes is about loving myself, more specifically my appearance with my hair. Then my third section of jokes is about love songs. Okay, we're gonna attack those transitions in between those topics, because that's where we're going to cut a lot of time. Zeroing in on that middle section, okay? The thing about that middle section is I have a joke. I go, and this is how I go into there. I say, I realize the secret to love is that before you love anybody else, you got to love yourself. That's right. And I started loving myself by growing out my hair. And I quickly realized people forgot how to talk to me, right? Like I had my hair out like this for 1 week, and a dude got close and said, "Where's the weed at, bro?" I was like, dude, leave me alone. This is church. And I don't know what you're doing down here, pastor. Get back on stage. That's that first joke. Now check this out. What we need to attack is all that stuff before I said, had my hair out like this for 1 week. All that needs to get cut down. But I might just cut that weed at joke, because the next joke I do is, and oh man, this is crazy now, think about it. It's telling the same joke, which is people make assumptions about my look, right? My look equals funny situation where my reaction to that thing was funny, right? Which then follows up funny reaction. My next joke is way faster and is telling another example of a similar experience. And it leads into something stronger. Then after that, I go into this one. I say, man, just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, this lady tells me, I don't get why we celebrate Juneteenth now. What? Then I take that joke and I go somewhere with it, but I just realized something, guys. We might be able to cut weed out all the way. We might be able to cut weed out, where the weed at, all the way. But the biggest thing is the words to get into that set. Again, I'm going to shout it out. If you're here, thanks for being here. Just shoot a message, something in the chat, so I know people are listening. And every message that you guys give me really helps. Right now, my TikTok, on TikTok, my stream looks like it's frozen. Same thing on Instagram, but Instagram always does that. Twitch, I can't really see it because of it has an attitude when I try to move stuff, so I can still see the chats. So my Instagram on my screen is frozen. My Twitch, Twitch, I'm not able to see it. My TikTok is blocked by all the other web pages because I wanted to be able to see my chats. And the thing I was using that said it was going to show me all my chats in one place does not seem to be doing that. So if you guys... Here. Dang it. So, okay, I just realized Restream isn't going to do what I want it to. Because now it's showing me a message that says there was an error on something. This is why it helps out a lot, just shooting a message. And I appreciate you guys being here at all. Tomorrow, I got to look at my work schedule, but I'm going to try and hit this earlier tomorrow. The good thing, or what I'm trying to do, is streamline this process and get it as easy as possible, right? I want to get it as close to point and click as I can. Because I really want to do this like around noon, which I was going to do, but I had to take my brother to go with our aunt on a trip. And then I had to work right when I got back from that. So I didn't have enough time to do this during the day. But I'm not going to keep you guys for too long because today is First Friday. They do a bunch of stuff downtown Phoenix, and I might go, but I might not. I might just stay in and take it easy. Here we go. Now, let's attack first, because it's on my mind right away. We're going to attack that transition. And here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to do the joke before I go into my hair, and then work my way to that first joke in my hair. And then we're going to go back into that part in the middle, and we're going to Wu-Tang with it. All right? Here we go. So, sometimes people leave you, but you grow from it. Man, my ex-girlfriend broke up with me. She said it's because I'm the type of man you get married to. Y'all ever lose your job because you were good at it? I never heard someone say, yo, McDonald's had to fire me. I had the ice cream machine working every day. Man. But it turns out the secret to love is that you gotta love yourself, right? So I started growing out my hair, had my hair out like this for 1 week. And the dude goes, hey man, where's the weed at, bro? I was like, dude, leave me alone. This is church. And I don't know what you're doing down here, pastor. Get back on stage. Huh. We're going back. Let's get in there. Y'all might have noticed I already did some edits on the fly there. But the part that I really have to train my brain on is the transition from that. Because I normally, after that ice cream machine joke, I got a whole nother joke I do that's great, but I had to cut it. Because our goal is to get Juneteenth and white slavery in there. Those are the two jokes that are the biggest and the newest of the set. Now I've managed to get those to fit, but in doing that, I had to end up cutting some of the stuff out of the bottom. Like my third to last joke, because my last two jokes, so I think it's like my last three, you would call them jokes. No, not jokes, but like the topics. I have a big topic, which is about Bruno Mars' song, I'll Catch a Grenade for You. But that, I ended up splitting into like two. There's a whole thing about peanut allergies, which just sounds so unhinged. But there's a whole thing I do about peanut allergies, and then a thing I do about how ridiculous that is, I'd catch a grenade for you. Anyway, so then that goes, and sorry, I went silent because my brain did a little bit of thinky. Then bam. So that goes into two. Then the last one is one long bit, but it is beautiful. And that, but it's beautiful. You might not have heard that. And what makes that last one so good is, it's 1 whole minute. It's 1 whole minute. And dude, I'm telling you right now, oh my God, if this was a 10-minute set, I would still go in here and do all this work. Excuse me. if this was a 10-minute set, I'd still want to go in and do all this work. But I'm like, the amount of stuff I'm cutting to get all this to fit in 6, to get this all to fit in 7. If I had 10 minutes, oh my God, we would have so much fun. Because I would fit all these bits. I'd have room to woo. I'd have room to tang. And I'm not mad because I'm enjoying the challenge. I'm enjoying the challenge. Because this, for me, is almost the only way that I'll get me to, actually get in here and start to trim this fat. Is going, I need to get this fast. What I was even thinking about doing, and we might do this maybe in a day or two, I might try to start to do the Juneteenth and white slavery jokes and try to give them time frames. I might have to go, we got to get Juneteenth to fit into 1 minute. And try to do the same thing with my white slavery joke. Just to start to chink, 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 start cutting these down so that they get efficient and smooth and let me see you woo. Anyway, by the way, I don't know why I think that song, that Wu-Tang with it is so funny. I think it is so funny. I'm way too into that, so I use it. I say that all the time at work. And when I'm saying woo and tang, it's just words for being smooth and playing with stuff. So anyway, here we go. Now let's get in there and attack. Let's attack. So I end on the joke about the ice cream machine. Then I'm going into talking about my hair. What's the point? Right? What's the point? What am I saying with that? Okay. I'm saying that people have they ask me weird questions because of the way that I look. Right? That's what I'm saying. Okay? And when I say where the weed at, that's what that is, right? He's going, where the weed at? Because he look at me and he think I must know where the weed is. But I don't, right? And then I say the thing where just because I'm saying, this is what I used to say for that a Frederick Douglass joke. Pretty sure I said it earlier. But that goes into my Juneteenth joke. I say this. I go, just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, people think they can ask me any question. Right? So what I'm saying is that. Now, I say that twice. Right? Because I'm saying it with the first joke. Where the weed at? Why would you ask me that? It's because my look and the way people treat me with my hair. Based off my look. Then I go into, and then it's the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. How people treat me because of my look. This lady goes, well, I don't know why we have to celebrate Juneteenth now for some reason. Huh? What are we doing, lady? But then I make fun. And I don't make fun of her. I make fun of how weird that is to have a problem with Juneteenth. So, let's run it back. What's the simplest way to say that? People ask me weird stuff. People ask me weird stuff because of my look. But I make it make sense because I say I gotta love myself first. I gotta work on this because I'm not tackling this in the proper order. I'm tackling the second part of that. I need to work my way to it because I can work on that, but then it won't make sense. Because how do I make that make sense? So before that, what do I say? I say before you love yourself, before you love someone else, you gotta love yourself. Right? I do also say this thing where I say I haven't had a haircut since 2013, which I like that because it lets the audience connect with me. And it does a lot for the magic. But in 7 minutes, that has to go. So let's see. I had the ice cream machine working every day. Oh, man. Before you love anyone else, you gotta love yourself. So I started growing out my hair and then realized people forgot how to talk to me. Cut. That's the problem. That also that doesn't hit, right? But I don't think it's supposed to in the grand scheme. That's not supposed to be a ha 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 bust down, pop that for a real nig laugh. It does help me go into what I'm saying, but I don't know if I need it. So we're gonna play with that and see what we can do with it. Okay. Ice cream machine working every day. I learned that before you love someone else, you gotta love yourself. So I started growing. I might have to cut that part out, that first part. Ice cream machine working every day. You've got to love yourself, and I did too. So I grew my hair out, and then I had a lady ask me, excuse my French, I'm getting a little flustered. Because, hey, I see somebody just joined on TikTok. Oh, I see somebody joined on, what's it called? No. This is so funny. It says some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community's experience. Does that mean people are shouting racial slurs on my TikTok? That's so funny. I got nobody on my TikTok and people are already shouting, "Hey, how are you? It's good to see you. Thanks for being here." We're working on my set for the Funniest Comedian in the Valley finals coming up. I was going to go out downtown, but I'm actually thinking that I might stay home, maybe play some games and stream, and maybe try to take it easy. Try to take it easy, mommy. Take it easy. Take it easy. Oh, this was so funny to me. At my job, I work at game show battle rooms, and I was doing this silly bit. I do this bit where I love to go, I speak a little Spanish. Konnichiwa, right? And then I was saying something to somebody, and I said, saying some Spanish. I was going, "Oh, rápido, mami, hey, come spin the wheel, all right, aquí, come spin the wheel aquí, rápido." And then a girl there said, "Yeah, you speak Spanish. You speak Spanish like a Puerto Rican. You speak it like you're Puerto Rican." And I told her, "Wow, that's hilarious," because I grew up in Orlando, Florida, which means I heard a lot of my Spanish from Puerto Rican people. Because I ain't know, that's just how, which is so funny. That's what I think Spanish sound like. That's what I think Spanish sound like, right? So for her to say that it sounds Puerto Rican and I hadn't mentioned that I was from Orlando, I'm not going to stay on this. And don't leave if you're here. It's just a little story, but when I was in college, there was a girl in the treasurer in the club I was the president of, and she was from New York. She used to make fun of Orlando people because she would talk like this. When she was making fun of us from Florida, she talked like this. And I used to be like, "How dare you disrespect us like that? We don't sound like that." And then I was at my job at Publix, and I heard her doing the voice, right? And I turned around to say, "Hey," and it was not her. It was some other lady. And then I realized, oh no, we do sound like that. I don't know, because I grew up there. But for her to do this voice that she think we sound like, and then I hear it out in the wild, oh no. Anyway, let's lock back in. I need to figure out how to say what I want to say in as few words. So let's see. I got the ice cream machine working every day. I started loving myself by growing out my hair. But I realized people would get weird about it. Like, just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, this lady goes, ugh, I hate that we have to celebrate Juneteenth for some reason. What? Juneteenth is the holiday celebrating the end of slavery. I think it's the only holiday with a good reason. I mean, we've had Toyotathon since 1976. Cut. I think that was good. Something about it didn't feel right. And maybe it's just playing with it. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm playing with something that I normally do completely different, right? But something about it felt off. Remember that? Maybe write that down and keep track of it, because I'm going to want to go back to it later. I got some comics out here. I think I might want to try to see what they think about that. But that saves a lot of time. I don't need to tell the audience, right? Normally I do that as a connecting bit. I go, before you love yourself, you got to love who? Or before you love anyone else, you got to love who? Yourself. That's right. I do that to get them like whoop in, which just gets weird when a lot of them don't respond, but who cares? And then I also have another joke that I do where I go, okay, I said that in Tucson and they said Jesus. So y'all some sinners. They eat that up. They eat that up. They love it. So, here's the thingy wingy. Okay? That might be good, actually. I got the ice cream machine working every day. I started loving myself by growing out my hair. And just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, this lady got the nerve. We might have it. That might be it. I don't think I need to explain all that other stuff. Imagine that I've got my afro out and I look like a civil rights leader, right? And then I say that just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass. I don't think I need to tell you that people say weird stuff to me because of my look. If I tell you this weird thing this lady said to me because of my look, I might not need to explain that part. Because if people are smart enough, they're gonna peep. Right? They're gonna peep what I'm saying by telling that story. Like, do you feel me? That might be it. That might be the secret sauce to cutting that transition down. Because it's like, do I need to tell you that, here's an example, right? Do I need to tell you that somebody, do I need to tell you that someone's a jerk if I tell you, if I tell you the mean thing they said to somebody? I don't think so. I think my live will probably get shadow banned or whatever if I use particular words. I'm not going to use these words, but I'm not going to use certain words. But I'm thinking, I don't think so. I think we've got something there, guys. I think that thesis might be what fixes that transition. And Dietrich Shelton, one of my favorite comedians out here in the Valley, Dietrich told me that for me, I let the words get in the way of the joke sometimes. And I'm doing this again to see where I'm at, so that's not good. I need to have the chair here if I'm going to lean on it. Okay. Okay. I might need to keep that in mind. But like I was saying, Dietrich said I let the words get in the way of the funny sometimes. And then I can't remember if it was him or Chase, but one of them told me that I don't give the audience enough credit. That I don't give the audience enough credit. And so I'll over explain things because I be acting like I think they're, sometimes I act like they're too stupid to get what I'm saying unless I, now walk it out, walk it out, walk it out for them. So we're going to run that transition again. And here's what we got to hit. We're going to run that transition because I think we might have solved it. Then we're going to try to do the same thing on the transition between my white slavery joke and then into my hair stuff. Because that was another one that got me because I don't normally do that. And my hair stuff is when we get to the Donkey Kong rail car problem, because I'm starting to switch jokes in different orders than I normally do, and so my brain gets caught up, on some of the lag in between those. So let's run that transition one more time because I think we found it. Okay. And if you're watching, again, say a little something, but if you're watching, don't, if you feel like it helps you keep track of it, and it would help me keep track of it too, write that down, what I changed, because then I'll go back to it. Because I'm going to need to practice that new version of the transition to make sure we get it right. What I want to do, and you guys let me know where I can get one, I want to get maybe an easel or something to start having a whiteboard up here while we work, I've been going to Goodwill's to try to find one, and I found like a music stand, right? But it was this low. It wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to be worth using. It was too low. I can't, and I'm sure I know there's something like it that'll have a whiteboard right here, right? Preferably one I can put my own whiteboard on, not like a whiteboard with legs on it, because that's going to be too big, possibly. Especially for the Instagram stream. I'm going to really need to have it, Anyway, come on. All right, we got a Wu-Tang with it. Wu-Tang with it. Wu-Tang with it. Wu-Tang with it. Okay, here we go. I had the ice cream machine working every day. Man, I started loving myself by growing out my hair. And just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, this lady goes, ugh, I hate that we have to celebrate Juneteenth now. What? It's the only holiday celebrating the end of slavery. I think it's the only holiday with a good reason. I mean, we've had Toyotathon since 1976. Shoot, we got a holiday about rabbit laying chocolate eggs. We got a holiday about a white man who busts in your house and leave you presents he had made with immigrant labor. Cool. Okay. That was good. That was good and I liked it. That was good and I liked it. Did that make sense? I started growing out my hair, and just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, this lady... No, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. Okay, I was going to pull that apart because I was going to say, well, saying that I started growing out my hair might imply that that was recent, which would then maybe make it seem weird with the Juneteenth thing. But that's my overthinking, because saying I started growing out my hair in no way, it doesn't imply when I started. And I also never say when that conversation happened. And I don't think that messes with the joke at all. Right? I don't think anyone's going to go, but when did the conversation with this lady happen? Right? I kind of want to cut my explanation about Juneteenth. And I could, if I was in a room that I knew what Juneteenth was, but I feel like to make sure everyone's on the same page, I gotta say Juneteenth celebrates the end of slavery. I might not need to though, but that I don't know. I'm a little too nervous about rolling the dice on that and just saying Juneteenth. You know what I mean? Darn it, I'm probably off the frame. Probably off the frame. Okay. That was definitely getting stuff. Okay. Thinking about something that happened at work today. I'll explain it later if y'all want to. Just say it in the chat. But anyway. Lord, pray for me. Please, no. Please, no. That means, though, I got to start going to bed early. I got too much going on. Grab another test tomorrow, though. Okay, sorry. I locked out for a second, but I'm locking in. Alrighty, if you're here, let me know. Say a little something. I don't think anyone's here. But that's not going to stop me from putting on a good show. I think we found that transition. I think we found it. I want to run it again, but I feel like in the interest of time and being efficient, let's move on. Okay, so that transition we figured out. How I go from ice cream machine into talking about my hair is I started loving myself by growing out my hair. And then, just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, this lady goes, I don't know why we celebrate Juneteenth now for some reason. Okay, I think that's good. And that, I almost want to time that. Because I don't think that's more than 15 seconds. I don't think that's more than 15 seconds. Going from ice cream machine to Frederick Douglass. I don't think that's 15 seconds. That has to be 5 or 10. Bam. So we're going to cut that. Hold on. I have a big notebook that's specifically for like my set running or my writing, even though I don't use it too much because I don't really write a lot of my stuff. And that's something I'm actually working on, is actually like getting my material lab grown, you know. I just really want to write that transition down. Okay, here we go. Now what I'm gonna do, and this would be more fun if I had the whiteboard, but I would, and I normally don't do this, but I'm doing it now. I'm gonna try to write that transition out as word for word as I can, which is, excuse me. I started loving myself by growing out my hair. I might have already forgot that shit. Okay. The ice cream machine working every day. Man, I started loving myself by growing out my hair. And just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, I started growing. Nope. I started loving myself by growing out my hair and just because my look Fred Douglass. I'm not going to write that last part out because what we're trying to do is run that transition. Okay? We're trying to watch the transition, not so much the rest of the joke. Because for me, that joke ain't the hard part, right? The joke's not the hard part. The transition is. And that's going to cut out a lot of time. Okay? Cool. So that's that transition. I kind of feel like I might want to stream a little bit of gaming tonight too. So we'll probably call it. And I just realized with this big competition coming up, I maybe don't want to go out downtown where there's going to be a bunch of people because I don't want to catch something. So I might maybe just stay inside. Plus, my little brother is out on a trip, which now means I can stream later. Normally, I can't do that because he in another room. So I have to stop streaming around 9:30 or 10. And I'll do it when I'm doing comedy because that's a little bit different. Excuse me. It doesn't have the gameplay and all that stuff. So, here we go. I'll be happy if we can hit one more transition that needs work. Cool. We're going to knock out one more transition. And what's that going to be? It's going to be going from my white slavery joke back into my jokes about my hair. Because I normally do all these hair jokes. How did I used to do it? This is the funny thing, man. You'll do a joke like a certain way for years. And then once you find a more efficient way to do it, for me at least, I forget how I used to do it. I completely forget the inefficient way that I did it. And I'm like, how did I ever do this a different way? I'm saying that because I used to just have that Juneteenth and white slavery joke as their own separate chunk, and then after a while, after I thought about it, after I meditated on it, I asked myself, where can I fit that into my 7-minute set? And where with my other material does it make sense? And then it hit me. This can be related to my look through that Frederick Douglass joke. A Frederick Douglass joke that I wrote for a completely different other set of jokes. I had these jokes about how people don't assume that I would like black girls because of another thing, because of my look. Right? I said that people don't expect me to like black girls. And, this is how that joke was. I used to say, someone would tell me, well, Hannibal, I didn't think you'd like black girls. No, I used to say, even though my look screams young Frederick Douglass, people think I'm going to be out here trying to pick up girls outside a Hobby Lobby. Although, let's be real, I think Hobby Lobby is more old white women than it is white women. So I did have this joke I freestyled out once that was so funny, and I haven't gotten it to work again. Where I talk about going to Starbucks, and I'm like taking pumpkin spice lattes and trying to catch them there. And then I said, that's not working, all right. Grey's Anatomy on that, B. You know. But I haven't done that joke in a while. That's where the Frederick Douglass joke originally was written for. But I realized that, I realized I could use the Frederick Douglass joke to transition into the Juneteenth and make that related to my hair. Then Juneteenth and white slavery link together because I think that that's why people are uncomfortable with Juneteenth, which now makes both those jokes related to my hair, which now means they can go into my hair set. Anyway, I got distracted. The reason I said that is because the next transition we're going to work on is going from Juneteenth and white slavery back into my hair stuff, because that's another Donkey Kong cart rail transition. Excuse me, another spot that gets difficult. And here's how we're going to do it. The same way we did the last one. I'm going to do the last joke. In that previous set, right, in that previous chunk. I'm going to do that last joke. Okay, here we go. Sorry, trying to get more in the middle. I'm going to do the last joke in my white slavery thing, and then practice going from that into the next part. And we'll probably call it after that. All right, team? Because after that, I'm going to call my lady, yap with her, and then I might hop back on the stream. It just depends how I'm feeling. Well, I'm thinking. All right. We got it. Target acquired. Yeah, this is going to help too. I just realized I wrote the word that signifies the next section of jokes. That's going to help my brain remember what I'm going to and hit that Mario Kart. What the heck? Sorry. Oh, I guess because of where my arm is. In my head, this should be off frame. If this is in frame, this should be off. But who cares? You know? As long as y'all can see it. Again, do me a favor and say a little something if you're here. Oh, hey! I see you here. Thanks, Dream. I couldn't see that you were here. I don't know if you're still here. But if you are, because I don't know when you got here. But, I'm glad that you're here because you've been here enough that you'll probably appreciate this. I think we perfected the transition into my Juneteenth joke. I remember you said that was 47 seconds last time. I think it was the first time I streamed for comedy. Yeah, said it was 47 seconds. I think we perfected it. And I don't know if you were here while I ran it. If you want me to, I'll do it again. But because I'm about to work on the next transition that needs work. And that's going from my slavery joke into the other jokes about my hair. And I think I just figured out how to start. So you know what? F it. I'll do it because you're here. Now that I know you're here, I'm going to run that. Just so you can see how we did the previous transition. What I got it looking like now. Okay. And how I've been doing it today, I'll do the last joke from the previous bit. And then run going into the next one. So I can practice the transition, if you feel me. Here we go. Let me check my stream. Man, this girl did good on my hair. Those parts are parting. Anyway. Oh, what'd you say, Dream? No, I just got home. Let's hear it. Perfect. Okay. Here we go. Here's how I do that transition. And I'm not going to do the whole jokes. Right? I'm not going to do the whole jokes. What's up, Kevin T? I see you over here on TikTok. I see you, Kev. What's happening, Kevin? Hey, I don't know if you just got here, Kevin, but long story short, I'm working on my set for the Funniest Comedian in the Valley competition. I do stand-up. Follow me if you want jokes. And I also think I'm going to start to, like, split my page into, like, comedy and, like, entertainment, and then also, like, the work on it. You know what I mean? If people are interested. But whatever. Who cares? We're not going to worry about that. Well, I think, and Kevin, since you're in here, I'll tell you, I think we just figured out how to streamline the transition between two of my jokes, because this competition, I only get a 7-minute set. So I'm going to show that for any of the people that just got in here. Here's how I'm doing that now. Again, I'm going to do the last joke on the previous bit so I can run the transition into the next bit. And I'm not going to do the whole jokes because I ain't got time. But then we're going to work on the next transition using the same formula. Here we go. All right. I got the ice cream machine working every day. Oh, man. I started loving myself by growing out my hair. And then this lady, just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, she goes, ugh, I hate that we have to celebrate Juneteenth now. What? It's the only holiday celebrating the end of slavery. I think it's the only holiday with a good reason. I mean, we've had Toyotathon since 1976. Cool. That's how we streamline that transition. I do think, because I just thought of it as I said it, I don't think I need to say what Juneteenth is for. I'm worried about it because I'm worried that, like, some of the audience might not know enough, and so I say that to pad that, you know? But I think I could just, why we have to celebrate Juneteenth now? What? I think it's the only holiday with a good reason, which would save us even more time. What'd you say, Dream? I see you said a lot. I see that shirt. Oh, I got to send you the art someone up here did. You're going to love it. Nice. Nice. Please do. But yeah, so that's that transition. I do think I can cut it. I do think I can cut saying what Juneteenth is for. And in a bigger set, I wouldn't. Because I'd have time. And it would allow me to get just that much more, a bit of a buffer or protection on that. Because you don't want to do a joke where half the room is missing a lore detail for them to get the joke. If you don't know what Juneteenth is for, you might spend too much time going, wait, what's Juneteenth for? Rather than following the joke. But I think the jokes that I do after make it clear enough that you can have fun with it even if you don't know what Juneteenth is for. That's what I just thought about. I think you can have fun even if you don't know what Juneteenth is for, if you heard that joke. So why do we have to celebrate Juneteenth? What? I think it's the only holiday with a good reason. We've had Toyotathon since 1976. You don't really have to know what Juneteenth is for to find that recognition. That's it. Wow, I just realized that. So recognition is one of the laughter triggers. That's in Jerry Corley's book. I haven't bought the book, and I'm hoping to get it one day, especially as I take practicing my comedy technique more public. I want to be more educated on it. But because it made me wonder, wait a minute, why is that funny? Why is the Toyotathon funny? It's recognition. It's because that is a holiday that we all are familiar with. So when I say that, one, it's surprising because no one's expecting that. When I'm talking about holidays and then I bring up Toyotathon and you go, oh yeah, Toyotathon, right? And then it's the comparison, right? Comparing that to other holidays and acting like it's a holiday. Um, let's see what you said, Dream. If they don't know what Juneteenth is, I don't feel it wouldn't hit them anyway if they did. I don't feel like it wouldn't hit for them. I'm confused. If they don't know what Juneteenth is, if they don't know what Juneteenth is for, I don't feel it wouldn't hit for them anyway, even if they did. Wow, I did not understand that. I like the flow, and you cut seconds off. Yeah, I know. Nice, it flows so much better. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm really glad that you're here to see that, because you timed that at 47 seconds. And I'm like, whoa, I mean, that is so much faster. Kevin, if you're still here, don't leave, Kevin. We're going to move on to some other stuff, too. And I don't think you were here for some of this. So, Kevin, let me know if this is boring you and if you want me to go to the next transition so we can work on that one together while you're here. But just explain a little bit of that samurai technique we used, especially since you're now in here. You're over here on Instagram. The thing that I realized is that it's two things. Number one, I don't think I need to actually explain what Juneteenth is for, because I think my jokes make what the actual joke is clear, which is, it's crazy, right? It's pointing out the hypocrisy of being against Juneteenth but liking other holidays, right? That's the joke, which is the hypocrisy of that. And even if you don't know what Juneteenth is, that hypocrisy can be explained. And so I don't need to waste time explaining to you exactly what Juneteenth is for. I also realized that, what was the other thing we realized? Oh, that's right. I realized that I don't need to tell so much about the fact that I started growing my hair out with self-love, blah, blah, self-love. I can connect that significantly smoother, right? Because I was like, blah, 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 blah. I can just go, hey, I started my self-love journey by growing out my hair. And, that's what it was. I realized that, that where the weed at joke is telling the same joke twice, which is people react weird to my hairstyle, right? It tells the same joke twice. It tells the same joke as the Frederick Douglass joke. Just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, it's actually the same thing. Just because my look looks like this, the dude goes, where the weed at? Even though I don't say those words, the joke, the actual meta of that joke is the same, right? Perception of my look equals interaction, which I then take a funny direction. It's the same thing with that Juneteenth. The perception of my look leads to comedic reaction, which I then take with my imagination. What'd you say, Dream? If they didn't understand what Juneteenth was, then I don't feel like that set would pick anyway, even if they didn't know what it is. Damn, autocorrect. I get you now. If they were going to get it, they were going to get it. Luis J. Gomez. What's happening, Luis? Comedy. Thanks, Luis, for saying comedy. Appreciate it. If they don't know what it was, I don't feel like it would hit for them even if they did know it. Got it. Perfect. I'm getting ready for a big set I got. It's a 7-minute set for the funniest comedian in the Valley, who just hopped in on Instagram. What's happening, Superb Radical? What's happening, Superb? Thanks for being in here, Superb. So I think we can call that transition Samurai Slice. I think we got it. So now we're going to move to the next transition that caught me up, which is going from my slavery jokes. So crazy to say that. And my Live has probably already been shadow banned because of it. But going from my slavery joke back into my hair stuff. But now I wrote down what joke I go into so I don't get lost. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the last joke, right? We're going to do the last joke of the previous chunk and then transition into the next chunk. So here we go. I couldn't imagine anybody working to wake me up before you go, don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Oh, man. But I like my look, because let's be honest, right? With an afro this big and glasses this thick, no matter the crime, I do not match the description. That's good. That's good. That's good. I don't even know how much time I cut off with that. I remember last time, I think I ended up stuttering, like hip, 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 trying to get my brain back on that track and find where I had to go. That is superior. That is superb. And the way that I just acted it, I think it does a really good thing of like all those jokes about Juneteenth and other holidays and this, that, and that slavery bit. And for me to go, and I like my look, whoo, brings us back to me talking about my look in a very, I think, fun, energetic, honest way. It brings us crash right back to here where I can then make more jokes about my afro. Lewis, if you're here, these jokes, I have to have my afro out for these. That's the one downside of these jokes, is that they don't really make as much sense if I don't have my afro out. And maybe I could do them if I had my afro out, but it would require two things. I would, one, have to have jokes ready for the way that I look right now in the moment, and it would take more time to make jokes about how I look with my afro. And I'd probably have to do the jokes about my afro, then do the jokes that are here right now, right? So if I end up doing my comedy special, which right now my plan is like from when I do my first comedy special, I'd have my afro out. Like I would have my afro out for my first comedy special and then get my hair done and stuff moving forward because I want to eventually be able to change my look and whatever. I just started getting my hair done again, found a girl that does hair that I think is really good. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Yeah, that took off a lot of time doing it that way. Finding this pencil. I was thinking about going downtown because they do this big thing every first Friday of the month. But out here, I realized with my competition coming up, I don't know if I want to risk it. I don't know if I want to go out there and risk getting coughed on or something. You know, plus I got booked a headline. I don't know if I told you guys. I got booked to headline 2 shows up in the Northeast. One on the 8th and one on the 9th. One of them is in Washington, which is about 4 hours away from my fiance in Portland. And then, the one on the 9th is in Portland. So she might actually be able to come to it. I don't know. Well, she's seen me do an hour. Every time I did an hour in Orlando, she came. So, but it'd be nice to do one over there. Her mom came to see me do my hour last year, too. Because in December, I got booked to headline these 2 places. Anyway, here we go. We're going to run that transition again. I don't know if that one needs to get ran as many times because it's pretty simple, but I will write it down. Same thing. We're going to do the last joke that leads into the transition. What you say, Dream? Okay, hey, let's go. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so excited. So excited. I also got some other things that are coming up, and I'm really excited about them. My fingers are crossed. Nothing as big as nothing like being in a Netflix show, but I think I might have, I've pretty much landed an agent, which I'm super excited about. An agent that's got big things going on for some of their other clients. So I'm excited about what that's going to do. I got like one friend who I have to tell because he's been on me about that. He's been on me bad about getting an agent. I can't really wait to tell him. But I'm waiting. I'm waiting a little bit before I bust that move, Actually, I'm just waiting on paperwork. Anyway, we're going to run that transition again. I might let y'all go after that, but we'll see. I'm really happy with those 2 transitions we worked on because that was 2 spots where there was a lot of time that needed to be cut. Ideally, there's a chance that I might keep the weed joke if we can make enough time for it because I like it. I like it a lot. But I realized, Dream, I think what I need to get another minute and 30 seconds out of that. Let me know if you want to see the, I'll send you the link to the video of my semifinal set if you ask. If you ask, I'll send it to you so you guys can see my semifinal set. For some of y'all who were at like a lot more of these writing sessions, I think it'll be fun for you to like remember what I was trying to go for and then what I actually got. Because long story short, you guys knew everything I wanted to do in the semifinals, but when you watch that, you're going to go, uh-oh, he had to leave a lot. He had to leave a lot on the floor. But I think it's going to be good because that means my final set gives me an opportunity to get that perfect execution. And if I can get my 7-minute final set to be the way I want it, I'm really excited for how well I'll get to do. So let's see what you say. Send it. I'll give feedback. You got it. It'll help me. It's in the stars. You just got to give it the time. Absolutely. You know, my thing is, I got to give it the work. That's what it is for me. I have to give it the work. I've given it a lot of time, you know, and I've built my skills up so well. I have to follow it up with the work. I have to put myself in the positions and work and do them things. I ain't gonna get all into it, but I really think therapy has helped me make that happen. Let's run this transition one more again, and then I think I'll let y'all go because I want to have enough time to call my fiance because I miss her. She make me happy. I'm actually gonna see if she messed with me at all. Let me see. I'm actually gonna text her real quick. Hey, baby, check in on you. Finishing my streak. Here we go. Go on. Close this. I see you dropped a lot in there. What'd you say, Dream? Just because you leave some things on the floor doesn't mean it's permanently gone. Once you get an extended amount of time, like an hour set, that could all come back. It's a beautiful thing. You're absolutely right. And that's the great part. All this stuff I'm cutting is great stuff. And it's only because this is a 7-minute set. All that stuff I'm cutting isn't even going to get written out. This is probably going to be my new 7, right? This is probably going to be what I do when I get a 7-minute spot somewhere, especially if I'm showcasing for a club. If I showcase for a club with this 7, bro, who's gonna be better than the headliner in 7 minutes? Like, they gonna know me. They gonna be like, that's that dude to come up in there, and when he woo, boy, he tank. Anyway, all right, so we're gonna run that transition one more again, and then I think I'll probably let y'all go. Unless we can think of another. No, it depends. It's gonna depend on when my baby going to bed. Here we go. Remember, we do the last joke first, or we do the last joke of the previous bit to practice the transition into it. What do we got? Okay, that was a tad bit over dramatic, but I understand. Don't know what you mean. If it was the Wu-Tang thing. Oh, no, it was. I literally fell onto the chair. Yeah, that was dramatic. I know what you're talking about. Okay, here we go. Ooh, okay. Okay. Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up. Oh, man. But I like my look, man. Because let's be honest, okay? This isn't the look of a, dang it, we got to run back. And I know I'm getting tired. I forgot. The joke I do after that is description. It's not bad. I just did the wrong joke. And when I ran this set a couple days ago, I made the same mistake. And this is the thing about being able to be light on your feet. I did those jokes backwards, but it still worked. I said, this is a disco Negro. right? Because with an afro this big and glasses this thick, no matter the crime, I do not match the description. Then did the no one's gonna get robbed. So I just flipped the jokes and it was fine. And I shouldn't even stop that. I like the way that I do it going description. Because it's like this, right? When you listen to those jokes, it makes sense. I go from, I don't match the description, to saying I'm a disco Negro, to then saying hands in the air, jive turkeys. That makes sense, right? Because once I get to disco, I then go into a disco joke or a disco act out, so to speak. So here we go. We're going to run it one more time, and that's my cue that I'm working too long and it's too late in the day. I'm starting to get a little tired, getting diminishing returns. But I do want to say real quick, I'm proud of what we did. Right, we simplified one of the longest transitions that I had. Like, this is incredible what we did today. So, here we go. We're going to run this transition one more time. Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up. Man. But I like my look, right? Because let's be honest, right? With an afro this big and glasses this thick, no matter the crime, I do not match the description. Because let's be honest, this isn't the look of a dangerous Negro. This is a disco Negro. And I promise, ain't nobody getting robbed like, ha! Hands in the air, jive turkeys. That's not happening. Cool. Got a little carried away and did some of the other jokes. But you see how that is? That's like perfect execution. That right there. Going from the white slavery joke, but I like my look, you know? Oh, and I think that does make sense, because I do say, this lady asked, just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass, which then makes sense when I come back to my hair stuff to go, but I like my look. I'm happy about it, right? I like my look because of that. There's another, it's not really a joke, but it's a build up to that I also cut. So I'm cutting a lot of time, which is good. You know, I might be able to fit this. I might be able to fit this junk. Because I also realize I cut this joke out where I go, this isn't about a look. This is about connection to culture, to my background. It is also for survival. That normally goes, and it's so funny with me being familiar about my set, and if you guys are familiar about myself, it's funny when these jokes start to look like Legos. And I literally just clip that part out. That whole part, take it out. And now I'm realizing I don't need it. I like my look, right? Because with an afro this big and glasses this thick, no matter the crime, I do not match the description. It says the exact same thing in like half the words. That is word economy. Holy crap. Good working here, everybody. Good working here. Thank you guys for jumping in and joining my 36 seconds. What's 36 seconds? The way I do it now, and you have to tell me which thing. What's 36 seconds? Dang! If all that was 36 seconds, if the transition from, because what I'm interested in is from that wake me up, like when I end that, to then that jive turkey. If that's 30 seconds, that's incredible. If that's 30 seconds, that's incredible. That's nuts. If that's 36 seconds. If that is all 36 seconds, which it should be because there's no way that transition is that long, now that I think about it. But I like my look, man. Right? But I like my look. Because with an afro, this, bam, that's the transition. That might not even be a second. Yo, that means that whole jump is 36 seconds. Yo, we did nasty work. We did nasty work today. The whole set, and it weaves in so nice. I know. And you know what was cool? Last thing I'll say about it. There was a really magical thing that somebody said that first day that I streamed this. He said that when I did, because the first way I ran the set, I didn't do the other hair jokes. I think I did Where the Weed At, then Juneteenth and White Slavery, and then I went right into my love life jokes. But I ran out of time. But then when I redid it, I did Where the Weed At, my Juneteenth, then did my other hair jokes. And it was crazy because he said something that was magical. He said, yeah, it was shorter, but it felt like there was more in it. That's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want. We want to make people feel like it was, like there was so much in it in 7 minutes. In fact, I'll be real with you. And this is the last thing I'll say, because I'm going to go out of here. I'm going to drink some water, and I'm going to maybe stream Monster Hunter tonight, just because I put it off so much and I want to so bad. And I don't progress in the game if I'm not playing it with you guys. I just do the same quest over and over again on my free time. But I don't want to make any major progress without you guys being there with it. I feel like I'll be cheating you. But I will say this, if I can remember what it was I was going to say. Oh yeah, the time frame, that's not for the audience to know. That's for us. That's for the artists, right? That's the inside baseball. And what do we always say? It's supposed to be math for us, magic for them. Every time I say that, my brain is trying to figure out which way sounds best. Is it best to say magic for them, math for us, or math for us, magic for them? And I can't really tell. And every time I say one, I like the other, like in my head. But, so that's the thing, the 7 minutes, I don't want you to know that the set I did was 7 minutes exactly on the dot. I want that audience to go, oh, I wanted more of him. You want the audience to feel like, oh, he's done? Because they were so involved and invested in what you did. With us cutting this transition, and with cutting both these transitions that we did today, I'm excited. Dream, I know you asked to see the footage from my semifinal set. I'm gonna send it to you. Shoot me a message just to make sure I remember. Because I'm gonna turn all this stuff off and turn it down, and I don't want to forget that. But you'll see the jokes we talked about. A lot of the heavy hitters didn't make it in the semifinals. And I've gotten good enough that I'm able to play on my feet. I'm able to stay light on my feet. And if it's time to woo, I know how to tang. So I cut a bunch of stuff we talked about on the fly and still advanced. My goal is to do it the same way that we talked about. Excuse me. I think maybe in the first comedy gym that I did, because I know if I can get my peanut butter allergy joke and my grab somebody joke in there, I'm scared of how well that could do. I'm like nervous about how well that could do. And I'm happy to say that I will, at the very least, I'll be hard to beat. Let's see some of these chats before I bounce. What do we got? Okay, the whole set, and it weaves so nice. You can't really even tell where the start of the next joke is, hunting like 3 seconds into the joke. Until like 3 seconds into the joke. I can't wait to see the full set. I got you. I'll send it on IG after you end. Thank you. Thank you to Dream. Thank you to everybody else that came out here. Thank you to all the people that popped in and popped out. Lewis, I see you over there on TikTok, Lewis. Thanks for being here, man. Look, if I don't know if you're in Arizona at all, but if you're in Arizona, Lewis, let me know. Let me see. I just got a message on Twitch, but it's from like one of them bots. How long have I been on here? That probably has something to do with it. Oh, let's see. On Twitch, okay, about 1:40. So that's probably it. After you stream for a certain amount of time, they probably got bots that send you this stuff. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to write that down. We go into description. Look. Okay, but I like my look. Into description. Perfect. That way I wrote down what the transitions are that we did. But I like my look. And I started loving myself by growing out my hair. And this lady, and just because my look screams young Frederick Douglass. Those are the transitions that we got. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I think what I need is a minute and 30 out of what I did on my semifinal set. And send my love to the missus. I sure will. But yeah, I think when you see my semifinal set, what I needed that night was like another minute and 30 seconds. And I think we might be able to, I think we might have shaved that off. Or almost. Well, we've shaved off probably at least a minute with these transitions. We've probably shaved off, if not a minute, 45 seconds probably that we shaved off today with just these edits. And the thing is, we want to cut the time in the fat. We don't want to trim it in the jokes. We want to avoid cutting jokes as much as possible. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. That's it for us today. I will see y'all probably tomorrow. It just depends on my work schedule. But my goal is to do these earlier in the day because I got mad people in Orlando that want to watch too. So, anyway, love you guys. Peace. Pew.